these are big studies. We got to pay attention to them. They followed over 1 million women for 9 years. And I'm going to give you the headline here in a second. But what they were trying to do, John, I'll preface by saying, is trying to find what is the sweet spot in terms of exercise. What's going to give you the most benefit in terms of reducing your risk of heart disease? And as you say, more is not necessarily always better. So again, 1 million women over 9 years. Let's take a look at the numbers here. You're going to look specifically at women who rarely or never exercise and their risk of heart disease, 5.2%. If you exercise 2 to 3 times a week, it goes down significantly there, 3.5%. But I think this is what you were paying attention to, and a lot of people are, John, daily. If you started exercising daily, 4.3% risk of heart disease. Still better than if you never exercise at all, but not quite as good if you exercise 2 to 3 times a week. They don't know how to explain that last number completely. It could be that people who exercise a lot more maybe also be eating more. They may have other risk factors for some reason. But the sweet spot appeared to be in that 2 to 3 times of strenuous exercise daily.
Yeah, and it is important to remember some exercise, I think, is crucial there. The study does reinforce that. Sanjay, what about diet? What about eating the right things?
This was a very interesting study as well. And look, we talk a lot about diet, and admittedly, a lot of the diets that are recommended are pretty complicated to follow. And that's been always one of the big criticisms. So in this next study, they basically took about 240 people, split them into 2 groups. One group just got an increased fiber diet, 30 grams more fiber every day. The other group was on the American Heart Association diet, restricting calories, restricting saturated fat. And what they found at the end of the year was the people who were in the first group just added more fiber. They lost around 4.6 pounds. People in the other group lost around 5.9 pounds. The other group did lose a little bit more weight, but just a modest amount more. The point, again, is similar to the exercise study, is that you seem to get the greatest benefit at the beginning of something. Just making one change here with regard to diet, adding fiber, seem to make a big difference.
So, Sanjay, when you talk about fiber diets, to a lot of people that doesn't sound like much fun. So what kind of foods are we talking about here with fiber?
Some people love fiber, John. I don't know what you're, but no, oatmeal, brown rice, people, that's what they typically think of. But look, a lot of fruits have, raspberries, for example, have a lot of fiber, pears. So really doing the same things that you've been told to do, eating a lot more vegetables, but really focusing on the fiber, if you can increase it by 30 grams, makes a pretty big difference.
I'm not anti-fiber. Just let's stipulate that.
Like you were a little
I'm
bit.
not anti-fiber. Just too much fiber, I'm saying.
Especially when you're a morning anchor. Yes, no, I get it.
Why, Sanjay, when it comes to exercise and when it comes to the things like fiber, why does too much seem to backfire? Is there any science to back that up?
So when it comes to the exercise thing, it's a good question. I think part of it may be people who strenuously exercise a lot could be at risk of increased heart problems, who are just doing it not just for cardiovascular benefit, but for some sort of other, endurance athlete type sports. With regard to diet, I think it's a simple thing. You put a more complicated diet together and people just don't follow it. So if I just say all you need to do is add 30 grams of fiber to your diet, that's all I want you to do for the next year, you're going to make a significant improvement just by doing that one thing.